Okay, so today I want to show you a perfect example of why I do not trade against the trend. I do not trade reversals. Here we are on a 5-minute downtrend on gold futures. And here in this particular area at support, right, this orange line, we had a beautiful long setup. Like everything was looking great for a long. I'm going to zoom in and show you exactly what you could be looking at if you were tempting to reverse this trend, because you had all of the signals to go long technically. All right, so number one, we are at a pretty decent support, just basic support resistance line that I drew on the chart based on previous price action. What do we have on this candle? This is where the signals, the clues to go long start. So we have bearish delta. So in this candle, more aggressive sellers, more market sellers than buyers, yet price pushes up. We have a green candle with bearish delta. That is a delta divergence, that's bullish. Now, perhaps the best clue, you have sell imbalances at the bottom, more sellers at the bottom of this candle within that wick. 46 contracts, that's a big amount of contracts being sold. If you compare to the general amount of contracts that we saw previously in the candles, the biggest amount was 21, 19, excuse me, right? And all of a sudden you have 46, and these are sellers. You would expect this to push price down much lower, and yet they fail. We have a bullish candle. Next candle, and by the way, we're starting to see some decent sized buyers as well, some buy imbalances, 15 versus 2 sellers, 13 buyers versus 2 sellers. Here we have some more shorts being kind of absorbed at the bottom here. Another little bullish candle, and some pretty strong sellers here entering again. Buyers entering here. Now on this candle, again, beautiful confirmation. We have a wick down. We take the previous lows right here, right? Grab some stop losses perhaps. We have stacked sell imbalances and pretty decent size. It's not 46, but it's a lot of sellers, right? Here at the bottom within that wick, we have negative delta, bullish candle, yet another delta divergence. And this bullish candle, although it does have a wick at the top, to be fair, engulfs the 1, 2, 3 previous candles. Okay? Now that's could be a perfect confirmation. And if you were trying to trade this morning and you saw my previous videos and you're thinking, dude, this is like the perfect setup that he's always talking about, and it fails. So he makes it look good in his videos and it doesn't actually work in real life. By the way, I've been there because I've watched so many videos of people explaining strategies and they show how good it works. And then I try to implement it and it fails. And I've been there as well, but don't forget, I'm always saying something. You take these setups with the trend. That's always my first step of the strategy, is I'm going with the trend. So in this case, I'm looking for a pullback, right? A bullish pullback, and then a failure from the bulls, and then trying to sell the trend. So if you're trying my strategies and you're trying to reverse the trend, well, it's going to work sometimes for sure, but it's just the win rate is going to be way lower. Now, there's people that are great at counter trending and reversals, and they have great maybe not a great win rate, but their risk to reward is amazing. It's going to be like a 1 to 5, 1 to 6. I personally am not good at that. I'd rather have more winning trades with a lower risk to reward, lower reward, but still 1 to 1.7, 1 to 2, which is amazing. Okay, now let's look at what a good trade with the trend looks like. Okay, so what happened here? We broke below that level of so-called support, which became resistance. We retested, pushed down, ranged a little bit, had some pretty strong buyers. We pushed up. Now, what is this area that I was looking at here? So we had the session VWAP is that red line here. We had that level of support, basic support resistance, which turned into resistance once, and we were retesting it. And we had the session value area high. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 levels, a beautiful level of confluence, right? Now, let's zoom in here a little bit. We have aggressive buyers at the top. We have buy imbalances at the top. Strong buyers here, more buyers than sellers at the top, right? We have a strong bullish candle closing above the VWAP, failing at that resistance. But we're trapping some buyers already above the VWAP. Now, we might break through. I don't know at this point. The next candle is a smaller bullish candle. We are seeing some buyers trapped at the top, not that many to be fair. Some buyers here kind of failing. We are seeing some pretty aggressive sellers also starting to be interested. We do have some sellers at the bottom of that wick, so no confirmation for me. Now this is the candle that I like to see. This is a good start, first clue in the yellow circle here. And now in this bearish candle, we have at the top of that candle, excuse me, at the top of that candle, 39 buy contracts. That's big. Again, you want to compare to what is kind of the medium amount of contract, the normal amount of contract that are being traded previously. Generally, you have 17, 25, you do have 36 here, but 39 buyers is a bigger amount of buyers on this precise price line than we would have usual, right? Even here we had 19, 24. So 39 aggressive buyers immediately failing because the candle pushes down. And right after that is our final confirmation is these aggressive sellers, 45 now, very strong sellers versus not a lot of buyers here. So you wait for these sellers to push price down to make sure they're not getting absorbed and price goes back up. Price does go down and then you enter here, okay? Stop loss at the high. And as you can see, my risk to reward is 1 to 1.7, 1 to 1.5, sometimes 1 to 2. In this case, you could have had more than I had, but I'm very happy with that trade. I'm trading with the trend. Last thing, very important that we had here. What's this blue line here? Well, we have a CVD divergence, and I love to see that. That was a great confirmation for me too. So from this high to this high, we are making a lower high on price action, but we are making a higher high on CVD. From here to here, from here to here. Now, what does that tell us? We have more aggressive buyers at this point, yet they're failing to even reach that same high, that previous high here. So more buyers, and we are failing to even reach that high. So there's a lot of absorption in this whole area here, absorbing limit orders, limit sell orders, absorbing the price, absorbing the buyers, sorry, the aggressive buyers, okay? And our confirmation, the aggressive sellers. That's it for me. That's the video pretty much, guys. Really, whatever works for you is great, but I'm telling you, as good as a setup can look on the footprint chart, just for me, it's trading with the trend that works for me. And again, not being too greedy, I didn't even aim for these lows. As you can see now, we're starting to range. That's it. By the way, here you did have a bullish CVD divergence, and it could have worked out for you at this level of support, because you can see, just to get a little bit more into the CVD divergence, we had, because this was so powerful, we had a low here and here, a very lower low on the CVD, meaning a lot more sellers than we had here, right? And yet we were not making lower lows, we were making higher lows. So that could have been a good setup. But again, I saw that. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I want to trade with the trend. And here, by the way, a trade I didn't take, I'm not going to zoom into it. That didn't even look that good on the footprint chart. Like, you didn't have that many clues, right? You didn't have that many confirmations. And even a not so good setup works good because you're going with the trend. You know what I mean? So again, for me, it's the trend, the trend, the trend. All right, that's it for me today. If you found this useful, please drop a like. It's super helpful for the channel. If you have any questions, I'm very happy to answer them in the comments. If you want to understand how to trade these kind of strategies with the trend, check out my previous videos. I go into a lot of details, and I like to make things clear and precise for everyone to be able to understand these very powerful strategies. Okay, guys, have a great day.